There are many yards that build beautiful boats, take them to shows, drape a few pretty girls around the superstructure, and present them to the public. Some make fast craft and win 1 or 2 races. Few, though, make reliable boats because there is no specific demand for them. But FP Design's military clients demand reliability above all. And while beauty is appreciated by the eye, reliability is demonstrated by cold, hard facts. That's the reason behind FP Design's obsession with long-range world records. FP Design has won just about all of them, from Venice Monte Carlo to Monte Carlo London, the Round Britain race, Miami Nassau, Tampa Miami, and Chicago Detroit. The craft that broke these records were all well prepared and backed by a racing pedigree. This meant they were long, narrow, and mounted extremely powerful engines. A few years ago, the American magazine Boating set up a special record, limited to boats of only 40 feet in length, for the 684-mile run from New York to Bermuda, far out in the Atlantic. This is a rather special record, as it is restricted to craft of only 12 meters. In other words, it is absolutely perfect for the new FP41 SF, the latest arrival in the large FP Design family, and powered, of course, by FPTs. The entire new 41-foot model was produced by a 5-head milling machine, so was mathematically perfect. The new patented FP Design structural foam is used for the hull, making it extremely robust and totally unsinkable. It is built entirely in composite materials, with multi-axial fabrics, and the stainless steel fuel tanks are built in under the cockpit floor. 2 ultra-modern 650 horsepower FTP Common Rail Cursor 90 engines are coupled with 2 ZF 312TS 2-speed transmissions, linked to ZF Trimac surface drives, and 2 Radice 5-blade props. There are also safety rudders and a small rear platform. This is made of foam, and so exerts positive thrust. A 684-mile record attempt demands auxiliary tanks. These were specially constructed and located inside the cockpit. After a great deal of discussion and frequent changes of mind, we decided on a crew of 6 and cutting-edge electronics, starting with the thoroughbred Neapolitan technology of a Starlight Italia night visor, plus 3 GPS units, a radar, radio, satellite phone, and 2 trackers that would make it possible for everyone to follow our route on the internet. While the boat was being tested, the talented American driver Chris Fertig set a new record of 21 hours and 39 minutes. He achieved this on an open craft with 2 350 horsepower American diesel Z drives and just 1 co-driver. So much the better. There would be even more publicity if we managed to beat his record in a boat like the FP41, a closed design with air conditioning, toilet, and a crew of 6. Similar, in fact, to the configuration for a military incursion. The hull was painted in late June. It should have been given a marine camouflage, but FP Design decided to add a little sex appeal, and the result was a color scheme that included the logo of the Italian Army Commandos. In fact, the boat was named Col Moschin after the Army's illustrious Special Forces group. They carried out the first sea trials, testing a range of features and equipment designed for their particular needs. These included a special carbon walkway on the bows and an even more special ramp aft for launching an assault craft on the water. We decided to take 2 commando divers on board for the record attempt, so they arrived at Lake Como to develop new solutions and practice changing props at sea. Past experience had shown that this was the most likely problem to arise. But the Kolmoskin's props were designed by Eliche Radice specially for the record and were incredibly robust. After extensive testing, the craft was in excellent shape and was shipped to New York to wait for favourable weather. It turned out to be a long wait, though. July and August passed without presenting an opportunity. It was only on the 24th of September that the weather agencies assisting FP Design agreed that a brief window would appear on the following Friday the 28th. A hurried decision to depart was taken, although the commandos couldn't make it. The boat carried a seasoned crew, Fabio Buzzi as skipper, then the faithful chief mechanic Antonio Binda, journalist and ace driver Maurizio Bulleri, Roberto Rizzo, an IT expert in charge of onboard electronics, and Emilio Riganti, several times world powerboat champion. Navy SEAL Lou Boyd joined the boat in America. This was a safety measure, as we reckoned that if anything were to happen 300 miles out at sea, the American was sure to be rescued, and the 5 poor Italians could tag along. Weather is variable by definition, so Commander's weather told the crew waiting in New York to set off before 5 in the afternoon on Thursday the 27th, as storms had been forecast. Lou couldn't get there in time, and Kolmoskin left New York at 3:57 p.m. on the dot, setting a perfect course of 135 degrees for Bermuda. She went on plane immediately, despite the 4,000 litres of fuel in her tanks, her crew of 5, and water and supplies for 6 days. You have to plan for the worst on such a long trip. The sea was quite choppy, with waves of 1 to 4 feet forecast, but the crew soon began to suspect that this should be meters rather than feet. The Kolmoskin raced into the moonlight, helped by the Starlight Italia night visor. The moon went down around 3 in the morning, plunging the boat into total darkness until sunrise at 6. Warm and dry in the office, we predicted a time of only 16 hours, so the route had been divided into 16 waypoints. At the penultimate waypoint, the boat would inform the timekeepers and waiting friends that the Kolmoskin was on the way. The success of the enterprise was also in part down to the incredible G12 chair, which can tolerate up to 12 G of vertical acceleration. The boat was joined for the last mile by another FP Design craft, the FP-39 Rib, owned by a legendary American and long-standing FP Design client, Ross Perot. Although not there in person, he had given the team the use of his Rib, including crew and general manager. This provided invaluable logistical assistance on the island. The arrival was incredibly exciting, as it was a great event for Bermuda, with the local media standing by to welcome our heroes.
Well, the basic idea was to find the most expensive and complicated way to see your beautiful island. And we are very proud because all the components of the boat have been done by us in Italy, and we are consulting Fiat, who make the engine. They have invented the common rail system, so these are common rail diesel engines built in Italy. The boat is also built in Italy, and all the components. and we have proved that we have a very big technology.
But the island's Italian community provided the most enjoyable aspect of the island's hospitality. Being Italian, they are in charge of most of Bermuda's restaurants. The whole crew was invited to lunch and dinner in wonderful venues, run by eager Italians taking pride in the success of Italian technology represented by our arrival. Colmoskin is in fact an entirely Italian build. From the outstanding Fiat FPT engines, to the Radice props, the ZF gears, the Starlight night visor, and, of course, the FB design craft.